let us see what these lessons are. Everyone is looking for happiness. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
There is no one who is not looking for happiness. The important thing is, what kind of happiness are we searching? What kind of happiness are we pursuing? For some people, it may be an increment in their job, in their salary. For some people, it could be a promotion, more money. For some people, it could be a fabulous vacation, paid trip round the world. They could be looking for that happiness. For some people, it could just mean meeting an old friend and sitting and having a cup of coffee with them. And for some people, it could be just getting a great big windfall, some lottery mil gaya, that gives them happiness. So many different happinesses are there. But the problem is that all these happinesses are temporary happiness. They are not permanent. They are sukhs you get, and after sukh, everybody knows what comes? Dukh. After sukh, dukh has to come, just like night has to come after day. You cannot avoid it. Sukh is not permanent. Sukh is temporary. After sukh, dukh. After dukh, sukh. After dukh, sukh. After sukh, dukh. That is what we call chakki pisoi. Every lifetime we come, some sukh, then some dukh, then some sukh, then some dukh, then die, get born again. Sukh, dukh, die again. Born again. Sukh, dukh. How foolish we are, no? Did it not sound ridiculous what I was saying? Get born, sukh, dukh, die. Born. Sukh, dukh, die. Born. Sukh. You are laughing at your own ignorance. You know that sometime you have to get out of this cycle of born, sukh, dukh, die, born, sukh, dukh, die. Right? And yet, we are still looking for that non-stop sukh. We are still looking for non-stop sukh which never gets over. We are all still looking for that fairy tale ending, and they lived happily ever after. Only this time the happily they lived, they means who, not husband and wife. Huh? They means me and my object of desire. They lived happily after. Me and my drink. Me and my batata vada. Me and my chocolate cake, in inverted commas. Okay? We lived together happily ever after. The thing is, why we want non-stop sukh? Because there is something within us that looks for endless happiness. There is something within us which is yearning for endless happiness. We don't innately like boundaries and limits. If we want sukh, we want limitless sukh. We don't want one batata vada. We want endless supply of batata vada, and that batata vada is a different batata vada for each of us. That batata vada could be money, that batata vada could be food, that batata vada could be whatever, I'll not ask you all to tell me what your batata vadas are. So we want infinite supply of that sukh, yes? And infinite supply of sukh also, we don't want just for 1 minute. Imagine, you want infinite sukh? You want infinite batata vadas? Here, take one tokri. Infinite batata vadas. But after 5 minutes, it will be gone. Will you be happy for that? No. We want not only limitless, infinite sukh, but we want it for infinite, limitless time also. So we want infinite sukh for eternity. Yes or no? If you love something, you don't want it for 1 minute only, na? You want it always. You always want it. So till eternity, okay? Now guys, infinite means without limit, and eternal means without ending. From where will I get something which is without limit and without ending? Can I get something which is without limit and without ending from something which has a limit and an end? Can I get something permanent from something which is temporary? No, I cannot. Therefore, I have to source my infinite joy and my endless joy from something which is eternal and infinite only. Only that source can give me something that is eternal and something that is infinite. Am I making sense?
Yes.
And what is that source which is eternal and infinite? Paramatma. Therefore, only Paramatma can give me what I am looking for, which is eternal and infinite. If we are established in that source, we will have an endless supply of that joy. And where is that place where I can be established in that source? Within myself. In myself. Self with a capital S. Alright? If I can establish myself in my capital S self, getting it? Which is the source of eternal and infinite joy, then I have an eternal and infinite supply of it. Yes or no? But we are not established in that source. We are not established in the self. We are established in hundreds of other things around us, which we hope gives us joy. But unfortunately, it doesn't. You can only give something that you have, na? If you will tell me, give me one slice of the moon, from where I'll give? I don't have. So that object doesn't have that joy, doesn't have that eternal and infinite joy to give you. वो मिलेगा ही नहीं. Therefore, we are always in a state of dissatisfaction. That is why we are always in a state of discontent. We are not established in the self. And this is my first step of downfall. Dissatisfaction in the self. Step number 1, dissatisfaction due to not being established in the self. How many are on this step? Most of us. Most of us. We are dissatisfied. We are looking still for satisfaction. Now the problem is that to fulfill this unsatisfied state, we are looking at only those things which are visible to us, which can be perceived by us either through the eyes, ears, nose, taste, mouth, touch, feel, whatever, which is all material. And they cannot provide what you want, right? So, can you tell me whether you want sukh only in one area of your life or you want sukh in many areas of your life? In every area. थोड़ा पैसा भी चाहिए, थोड़ा बटाटा वड़ा भी चाहिए, थोड़ा केक भी चाहिए, थोड़ा मसाला डोसा चाहिए, स्पेशली आउटसाइड बाबुलनाथ. हाँ, वन लाटे भी चाहिए and लाते भी चाहिए. We have many different objects of desire, right or wrong? Sometimes one object of desire becomes more important to you than others. Yes or no? Yes. All are not equal. चलेगा या टर्मरिक लाटे जाने दो ना, it's not so important. But masala dosa जाना नहीं चाहिए. That becomes like very important. Every time you go to Prempuri, you must park your car outside there and you must eat it.
Drop Ma first.
Drop Ma first. and make sure the masala dosa wala protects my car, to ek masala dosa bhi khila do. Guys, one desire becomes more important than others. Yes or no?
Yes.
When that one desire becomes more important than others, you will constantly think of that one object. Yes or no?
Yes.
You get stuck. You get stuck on that one object. Yes?
Yes.
And sometimes the sticking becomes so strong that we make a full movie of that in our mind. We imagine, oh wow, ye mila to, you know, I will have do this, I will feel this, I will go there, I will get this. You are imagining, you have made the full movie of the pleasure that you will get from that one object. Yes or no?
Yes.
Continuous thinking of anything is called meditation. Continuous thinking of anything is called dhyan. The problem is that you are doing dhyan of pleasure instead of doing dhyan of Bhagwan. Continuous thinking of something. See, when you have many objects of desire, some energy is going in this one, some is going in this one, some is going in this one, some is going in this one. When one object becomes of paramount importance to you, all your vritti, all your thoughts get channelized to one. It becomes urgent. Right or wrong? When continuously you keep thinking of something, it is called doing meditation or dhyan of that thing. And this is automatic. You don't have to take a particular asana. You don't have to put your hands like this. You don't have to keep your back erect. You don't have to keep your eyes half closed. You don't have to keep whatever. So many different techniques for doing dhyan. This dhyan happens in all asanas. This dhyan happens while all activities are going on, even during Bhagavad Gita class. It can happen. Alright? So you don't have to practice it. You don't have to have a particular posture for it. Automatically. Sometimes grandparents, they will keep thinking of their grandchildren. There is a, what is it called? Something of apple of my eye. Huh? She is the apple of my eye. Continuously think of that, think of that, think of that. Now she must have woken up. Has she had breakfast? Right? Continuously you think. You ask that person what you're thinking. Kat, what are you thinking now? I'm thinking of my grandchild. I feel so much love for her. There is love. You ask that person, think continuously of Bhagwan Krishna. Huh? Nahi hota hai. Where your love is, where your attachment is, you will continuously think of that. Continuously thinking of that object is your step number 2. And unfortunately, what happens when that becomes a continuous thought channel, it's like when you walk on the beach and you know the other wet sand is there. When you walk, your footprints get imprinted on the sand. When the water comes, it goes directly into that khadda, right? Similarly, when you're continuously making that imprint of that thought in your mind, anytime some energy, thought energy comes, it goes into that khadda only. What happens by continuously dwelling on any object, we create attachment for that object. Asakti, what we will read in some books, this word asakti. Asakti means attachment develops for that object.
So, Ma, are you saying that not to create attachment, it's okay to have an object, but don't create an attachment?
100%?
But it's okay to have an object.
Of course, why not? Without object, where you'll go? There is no place in sansar where there is no object.
Yeah.
Huh? Where you'll go? You go to the cave, you'll carry that object with you in your mind.
But Ma, if you would focus on something that you want, which is, then how will you get it also?
You'll not get it. You have to focus. But what do you want?
Yeah, so something
That is the important thing.
something which is good, say, good for me.
Then 100% focus on it. Then what am I saying? See, guys, if focusing on something is enabling you to get it, that is called power of intention. And doing the power of intention. Okay. Now, and we have all experimented with power of intention. Yes or no? Let me get one taxi when I go down. Yes,
Yes,
it comes, right? Or let me get a phone call from this person. I really want this person to phone me. Yes, that person will phone you. Has anyone experienced that?
Yes.
It happens. It is a fact. Experiment. Those who have not experimented, experiment. If you'll put full energy into something, it will happen. Try it for silly little things like this taxi and phone and all, rasgulla, whatever. When you are sure that when I'm thinking with intent, attention, passion, integrity, etc., etc., I am manifesting X, Y, and Z. So, what is your goal, by the way? Moksha. Why you don't focus on that? If Bhagwan is your goal, why you have a problem in focusing on that? That means what? That means your desire for moksha is not as strong as the desire for rasgulla. That's what it means. And Suneet is here?
Yes.
Where are you? Do you remember when I called you for that very first satsang in my house, when Swamiji came for the very first time? At that time, before that, I was teaching the secret.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
And I told you all this same sentence which I just said was like a deja vu for me right now. That up till now we have all been experimenting with law of intention, power of intention, and we have manifested business deals, we have manifested profits, we have manifested so many things. And I said at that time, I remember now, this moment is coming back to me, why are you not focusing on liberation? That means you don't really want it as intently as you want material objects. You remember I said that? You have any recall of that?
I have a recall of the secret and
Ha.
talking about.
You remember? You were there? Okay. So you will develop an attachment for that. We've come to that. That is your step number 3.
3. Thinking.
Dissatisfied is 1. Continuous dwelling on the object is 2. Attachment for that object becomes step number 3.